Chapter 3. The Size of Decisions. If you walk yourself through a single day, look at all the decisions you make along the way. What do you wear? What do you eat? To whom do you talk? What route do you walk or drive? How do you spend your time, work or pleasure? Do you set any new goals? Do you agree to something? Do you make any decisions, small, medium, or big? As an illustration, in an average year, you'll make one big decision, 50 medium decisions, and about 10,000 small decisions. Keeping it simple, we can place decisions in these three categories, small, medium, and big. If you take inventory of the decisions you have made this week, you likely made mostly small decisions and only one medium decision. So what's a medium decision? Medium decisions are best illustrated as course corrections, like a boat captain. Since the boat's destination is one of our big decisions, then along the way we have to make small turns, speed up, slow down, refuel, etc. These medium decisions assure progress toward our success. For example, if a big decision is get this college degree, then a medium decision would be to take a course that advances us in that degree, and a small decision would be to study tonight. What makes anyone a good boat captain? Answer: an awareness of the destination, our current position, heading, speed, and the ability to swiftly make adjustments. For your life, how skilled a captain are you? The biggest decisions. The biggies. The following decision categories are absolutely the best areas of decision making that make or break your future happiness and successful achievement. It is remarkable that so many people jump into them so lightly. Also, I know these are the big ones because they always make the list of people's top regrets in life. So being aware and prepared for the biggies is a significant advantage. Decision category: education. Education amount. This decision pretty much sets your baseline income potential for your whole career and your retirement savings. For example, over a 30-year career, total earning potential according to the 2009 U.S. Census for a high school graduate is $30,000 per year or $900,000 for 30 years versus a bachelor's degree holder at $56,000 per year or $1.7 million over 30 years versus a professional degree holder at $127,000 per year or $3.8 million over 30 years. Money isn't everything, but it is helpful fuel for what you want to do in life. The early decision in this category is super critical. It is the difference between you being in control versus being dependent upon others. For me, not feeling in control is one of my worst states of mind, and I will do whatever it takes to regain control. I feel the role of money for me is to assure freedom to do what I want to do instead of just what I have to do. So, when we make decisions about the amount of education we will absorb, we are setting our likely income parameters. Education effort. Parents know that cumulative effort turns into the final result, and that is why we are always employing our kids to study. If only the kids knew what we knew, that the entire world is being separated between those who make more effort and those who do not. In 2012, the 3-year Program for International Student Assessment report compared the knowledge and skills of 15-year-olds in 70 countries around the world, ranking the United States 14th out of 34 countries for reading skills, 17th for science, and a below-average 25th for mathematics. How is that possible? Effort. Subpar effort is a daily decision that we U.S. citizens are often making, contrary to our best long-term interests. Education grades and scores. Higher education selects its most desirable students for scholarships and admission based upon grades and standardized scores. We can no longer get into a great school based upon a fantastic personality. The grades and scores have to be notable. Education schools. Where we go to school will absolutely affect our lives. Schools have reputations. Companies, when hiring, have a bias toward and against certain schools. Attending Rural State University Tech is better than nothing, but you will lose in comparison to 200 other college pedigrees. Counselors will tell you to go to the best school you can enter and afford. They will also tell you to consider your personal traits and how well the school fits you. That combination is a big decision. Education degrees and specialties. What we choose for focus in education usually points to our lifetime career focus, especially if we are pursuing advanced degrees, education, medicine, law, finance, etc. Focusing upon how we apply ourselves to the world often consumes additional years of our life, as well as considerable expense, so we cannot choose more than one. No pressure. What we do for work will determine our income and our satisfaction. It's a huge decision. Decision category: whom to take as a life partner and when. Does your love interest make you more productive? Inc. magazine reported in 2015, researchers at Washington University in St. Louis found that people with relatively prudent and reliable partners tend to perform better at work, earning more promotions, making more money, and feeling more satisfied with their jobs. That's true for men and women. Partner conscientiousness predicted future job satisfaction, income, and likelihood of promotion. According to the researchers, conscientious partners perform more household tasks, exhibit more pragmatic behaviors that their spouses are likely to emulate, and promote a more satisfying home life, all of which enables their spouse to focus more on work. So who will you choose as a life partner, if anyone? Their qualities will determine your success. Their age can be significant also. Partnerships of the same age usually last the longest. Also critical is at what age we choose our life partner. People who commit to each other later in life and who dated longer have the most stable partnerships. Stability is important because a good partnership can demonstrate that 1 + 1 = 3. What about love, you ask? This often surprises people. Your partner's qualities and at what age you take on a partner will make love more likely to last and grow between the two of you, not the other way around. Your love is not going to change your partner or the circumstances. Love rarely holds bad decisions together for long. Looking at it another way, falling in love is not a decision that can claim any accomplishment. Falling in love is usually not a goal by itself. What is accomplished by the partnership receives the focus thereafter. Thus, falling in love creates the temporary opportunity to form a strong partnership. However, if the partnership and/or their circumstances are flawed from the beginning, love cracks due to the strain of a poor foundation. Decision category: having children and when. Children are amazing and amazingly expensive and time-consuming. I have 3 children and would not trade the experience for anything. However, if I had had children early in life, I am certain many of my goals would have been abandoned, and I am certain I would have had more anxiety over my financial future. When we have children matters. It is a sequence of fit in our individual journeys. When does parenthood make the most sense? That is a matter of prioritizing our goals. The average cost of raising a child born in 2013 up until the age of 18 for a middle-income family in the United States is approximately $245,000, or $300,000 adjusted for projected inflation, according to the latest annual cost of raising a child report from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. U.S. Census data from 2000 shows women who waited to have kids had significantly higher salaries than women of the same age with the same level of education who had kids earlier. For women between ages 40 and 45 with professional degrees and full-time jobs, those who gave birth to their first child at age 35 made more than $50,000 more per year than women who had their first child at 20 on average. Even waiting to start a family just 5 more years at 35 instead of 30 made a difference of $16,000 per year on average. For men, it's the opposite story. Sorry, ladies. On average, men's earnings increased more than 6% when they had children, while women's decreased 4% for each child they had. Employers read fathers as more stable and committed to their work. They have a family to provide for, so they're less likely to be flaky. Employers rate fathers as the most desirable employees, followed by childless women, childless men, and finally mothers. The one exception is for mothers in the top 10% of jobs, who had the same income bias opportunity as men, since employers consider them high performers who can negotiate. Men and women, when it comes time to make this big decision, the concepts in this book will help you define what is important to you and how to decide. Generally, the more established your career and your marriage, the more you are in a position to enjoy being a parent. Waiting too long to have children is a downside too. In my experience, waiting until there is reasonable certainty that the family can be stable is a good thing, and still being young enough to enjoy chasing after kids feels great. My wife and I switched roles early as she worked a career while I went to graduate school and started a business. When we were more stable, I took the primary breadwinner role and she managed our young family. 2 partners who can flex and work together to achieve good timing is a big advantage. When to have children? It's a major decision. Decision category: our social circle. Quote, "We are an average of the 5 people we spend the most time with." Jim Rohn. When it comes to effects of relationships, we follow the law of averages. It turns out that we are greatly affected by the people closest to us. They affect how we think, how we feel about ourselves, and how we set goals and achieve. Think of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do you like the effects of this group? Are you being challenged by the group too? It's important to have critics and advisors who don't always make us feel good. According to a study in the Journal of Consumer Research, novices have a preference for positive feedback, but experts want negative feedback so they can make progress. And the more successful you become, the more criticism you'll face. Glenn Lopez of Forbes wrote about how 6 types of people build your mental toughness, including doubters, critics, and the envious. These other actors in our life make us better. Your circle of closest people is a bigger decision than you may think. Decision category: where we live and travel. Would you rather be a big fish in a small pond or a little fish in a big pond? I would choose to start out in the big pond at all times. There is more opportunity, money, resources, brains, and talent, and spouse candidates in the bigger pond. Where we live significantly affects opportunity. Talent and intelligence have been migrating to 6 major economic zones in the United States for the last 100 years, leaving rural America and capitalizing upon competitive intensity. Locating within one of these zones will affect many of your opportunities. Northeast corridor between Washington, D.C. and Boston. Southeast between Virginia and Orlando, Florida. North Central between Chicago and Minneapolis. South Central between Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. Pacific Northwest between Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington. And West, California from Los Angeles to San Francisco. These zones create more wealth and prosperity due to the more intense population and collaboration of smart people to create new works. There are more people, investors, employers, brains, and talent for spontaneous combustion of ideas and opportunities. On the other hand, you can live a happy life in the small pond, but you'll need to adjust your expectations and add travel. I live in a small pond, Tulsa, Oklahoma by choice, but I travel frequently to the bigger ponds and work my opportunities. I travel abroad for exposure to what else the world is doing. I spend 1 week a month in large cities working my network, seeing clients, and exploring my next opportunity. It's the best of both worlds, but I am certain it is more work to be highly successful while living in a small pond. In a large pond, I found the following: more people with talent and education, more traffic, painful commutes, dirtier air, more opportunities, more things to do, higher cost of living, more budget pressure to work more hours instead of enjoying time off, many business relationships, many company headquarters located here, much easier travel by air, train, and ride sharing. In a small pond, I found the following: lower cost of living, fewer opportunities, less to do, easier living, less congested, better air, people are less worldly. Few business relationships, travel is a must. Most trips include 2 flights each way. Decision category: career choice and income. In countries other than the United States, the career choice is not so democratic and flexible. To preserve scarce resources, other societies require testing and choices before the age of 18. In many European countries, you test at 17 in your advanced education, if any, and career path options are set for you before graduating high school. If you qualify, you can choose and are expected to not change your mind. If you aren't good enough, that's that. Your career should provide income and fulfillment. Achieving great results for both factors is a challenge, but also a thrilling pursuit. Your interest and joy in various types of work activities will help guide you to fulfilling work. From a decision-making standpoint, money is fuel for a great many other life goals, so we tend to choose income over fulfillment or fulfillment over income, and our goals must flip-flop accordingly. Fulfillment is often found by trying many jobs to discover what we absolutely don't like doing and choosing from what remains. Do you want to live comfortably? Your career will achieve or eliminate that goal. As examples, using the 50-30-20 budgeting rule, in which 50% of income covers necessities, 30% is for discretionary items, and 20% is saved, the following are single-person income requirements by city in 2016 to live comfortably. Spanning from a high of New York City, requiring $87,000 per year to live comfortably or $40 per hour for a full-time job, to Denver, Colorado, requiring $62,000 per year or $30 per hour, to El Paso, Texas, requiring only $40,000 per year or $19 per hour. Your career will take you places, so when moving from city to city, it's important to look up the difference in cost of living and make sure the income meets the needed budget. One more point about career. What is the income range possible for your chosen work? As you advance in a career, low-income ceilings will cap your lifetime earning potential. Career considerations must include income ranges. Examples include, and this includes 90% of workers in each group falling inside the range, bartenders, waitresses, and waiters between $12,500 and $28,200 per year. Janitorial supervisors, $19,000 to $51,000 per year. Health therapists, $21,000 to $72,000 per year. Registered nurses, $40,000 to $83,000 per year. Technical sales representatives, $33,000 to $121,000 per year. Financial analysts, $40,000 to $130,000 per year. Computer software engineer, $49,000 to $119,000 per year. Physicist, $52,000 to $143,000 per year. And physicians and surgeons, $45,000 to $145,000 per year. Harsh reality. Per the city income requirement illustration, when you see someone over the age of 22 and under the age of 62 working in a fast food restaurant or in the aisles of Walmart or any other job with little upward income mobility that pays less than $20 per hour, you can be certain this person is under financial stress if they are living independently or have children to support. They are likely working 2 or 3 jobs to survive. I admire their hard work, but I also remind myself to make choices that allow me to never be in the same position.